Hey, welcome to the Town Board meeting, Thursday, September 15th. Please rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Emergency exits are to my right behind the town clerk and also the door you came in. Roll, please.
Supervisor Prodi?
Here.
Councilpersons Doyle? Here. Gutierrez?
Here.
Blackman?
Here.
Rebillard?
Here.
This time I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for appointment of a particular person.
Second that?
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Blackman?
Yes.
Rebillard?
Yes.
Make a motion to return to regular meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Council members Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Blackman? Rebillard?
Yes.
And public comment, if you could go to the microphone.
Oh, already?
And read your letter.
Hi there. My name is Christy Gast, and I live on Sheffield Road, and I'm reading a letter that was written by my neighbors with my consultation about an issue we're having. So we're writing to express concern about traffic on Sheffield Road and Prospect Ave off of State Route 343 in Amenia. For 2 years running, various heavy 8 to 16 wheel trucks have been using this corridor as a shortcut between Route 22 and Old Route 22 and Route 343. At the height of activity, one of these trucks was timed coming or going every 20 minutes. As of today, September 8th, 2022, we have followed 4 16-wheel trucks returning from Keene Farm up 343 through Sharon, Connecticut, as far as Salisbury, Connecticut. Also today, a neighbor stopped one of the trucks, that was me, who said that they were delivering 500 tons of material to a project at Keene Stud Farm, and as long as there's no sign against it, the drivers would continue to use Sheffield as a shortcut. And these were not your average little dump trucks. They were massive, and they were coming every 10 to 20 minutes. So as you know, it's a narrow 2-lane road in a residential neighborhood, and it's not made for heavy traffic of this kind. And it there's a hill in front of the rail trail that blocks visual access. We have hundreds of bikers and walkers crossing every day, and the traffic doesn't slow down when they cross that rail trail corridor. So in general, there's always a concern about traffic with the rail trail, and especially with these wide trucks. This is the rise in the road that the cars have to go over when approaching Sheffield 343 from either direction, where they can't see the traffic coming until they're cresting the hill, and where there are mailboxes requiring postal trucks to stop. A truck that is too wide meeting the car in the other direction is an accident waiting to happen. So I think that you all received this letter and read it. And I will say that our main point is that we're requesting a no-through truck sign on this road in order to alleviate the danger posed by these massive trucks using an inappropriately small road that doesn't even have a yellow line in the center. These trucks should actually be going to the stoplight and taking a left and taking Old Route 22, which is built for trucks to go to the building site. And we're concerned because the truckers have communicated that the project is going to continue and going to keep getting bigger. So the request that we have that would alleviate the situation is to continue the no-through trucks signage that starts on Mygat Road and keeps the trucks from crossing there. And I'm aware that there are other no-through truck signs on smaller residential roads in town that keep these shortcuts from happening. And you know, the trucks are following their Google directions. They don't know where they're going. So they did communicate that if there was a sign, they would not use that as a shortcut. And so we are wholeheartedly requesting that the town follow through and put one up. Thank you.
Christy, I was confused as to what the route was, and looked on parcel access. Would you just let me know if that was what you had in mind, and we can share these.
Okay, where are we at now? The route?
So Sheffield is the upper right corner?
Yeah, Sheffield.
I don't think there's enough for everyone, that's what I
That's
meant. We
right.
should pass them.
That's right. Yep, you got it. So
Okay.
what they're doing is they're turning off of, actually called the company is called Century Aggregate, and they're from Falls Village.
Okay,
And,
I've seen their trucks too.
Yeah, that's their trucks, and they were taking a left here on Sheffield, going to this stop sign where the inn is, and then taking a left and going through that teeny tiny little road where there's lots of houses with children on Depot Hill up to the building site. And the more appropriate route for them is obviously to follow the highways that have bigger roads,
Okay.
divided roads, safer roads. So that's accurate. Thank you.
Okay.
So they're going on Sheffield and into Prospect
To Depot Hill, yeah.
and to Depot Hill? Okay.
I would only, well, I guess my first question is, doesn't the highway super manage signage
Yes.
on this? So
Yeah, she has to.
do you know if the request was made to the highway super as
I would
well?
like to, I would make a request.
Sorry, do you mind if it,
Oh, do you want me on the mic? Sure.
I'm sorry.
I'm not aware if a request has been made to the highway super, but I would be happy to do that if I knew the appropriate way to do that.
Okay. I can give you her email address.
Okay.
Her name is Megan. But yeah, she doesn't need, as far as I'm aware, authority from the town board to post signage in town. That's just part of her
No,
job.
she needs permission from the state.
From the state.
Oh, even on town roads?
Yes.
Even on a town road?
Yeah.
Well,
He's
How
concurring.
Getting mic'd up. Not for a town road, but if there's going to be any rules or regulations on that, there are provisions under the vehicle and traffic law, which, I think it's 1660, which govern it. We can look into that.
so the only thing that I would want to also convey to this highway super is if we're going to post no through trucks on Sheffield, then we should also consider, you know, some of the other roads there. We don't want to stamp out one problem and then have all the trucks be on Railroad Ave or.
They told me that Railroad Ave is too steep, so they're not going to take Railroad Ave, but that's just what they told me. They were very chatty.
You need
gotta-
to,
you gotta be
if
on
you're
the
going to
mic if
speak,
you-
you need to
sorry.
speak into the microphone.
Thank you, Damien. The truckers told, they communicated that Railroad Ave is too steep, so yeah, one problem at a time, maybe. The truckers, as I was saying, were very chatty. I don't know if I should stand up or sit down. I didn't quite catch what you were saying, Mr. Linders, about the, is that for the town to make the call?
Sorry, can I just repeat the question? Christy's asking if it's up to the town to make the call to put signage on town roads.
So the town board would, and the highway would be able to, highway super would be able to manage town roads. There are provisions under the vehicle and traffic law, depending on what they're looking to do, that would govern that. And we can look into that specifically and in more detail.
In other words, it isn't just a matter of, you know, ordering a sign and put it on the road. There's certain regulations we have to look at first.
But that means that Christie or the other people in the neighborhood that are concerned about this should, I think this letter may have been sent to Megan, actually. I thought I saw her CC'd somewhere. But anyway.
Yeah, she was.
She was. So if the town board doesn't need to get involved, if that's up to the highway superintendent, then I think you should pursue it with Megan, who's out sick at the moment with disability. But it sounds like you should talk to her, and then she has to then deal with the state DOT.
Okay. Great. I just wanted some clarification on what the process would be.
I'll
Yeah,
get you.
you have to go through, through the highway superintendent would be the best place to be.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Is there any other public comment?
Yes. Sorry, it all just happened so quick. We got a quick email from Allison Miller. She says she lives in Wassaic and she wholly supports the hiring of a full-time rec director. She was planning on attending this evening's meeting, but she had a conflict. So she wanted to let you know if you had any questions or need more information, feel free to give her a call, but Allison Miller is in support of a rec director.
Is there any other public comment?
Public comment.
No? Highway Department report, Judy?
Good evening, I'm Judy Carlson. I'm Megan Chamberlain, our Highway Superintendent Secretary, and I'd like to go over the highway material bids. They cover the period of 9/15/22 to 9/21/2023. We had 19 companies that bid for this period of time for our highway bids this year, which is an annual thing that we do. The document you have in front of you represents the results of those bids, and everything that is circled is the bid the highway superintendent suggests is the winning bid in each category. We can pass the page of the legal notice and information and continue to the wash gravel results. Is everybody on that page?
Yes.
Okay. All prices reflect and are covering delivery to highway department or job sites. The first category is 1 1/4 inch stone, goes to Harlan Valley Sand and Gravel, $20 pickup, and to Red Wing, $21 delivered. 3/4 inch stone goes to Harlan Valley Sand and Gravel, $20 pickup, $21 delivered, goes to Red Wing of Stormville, New York. 2.5 inch stone goes to Harlan Valley Sand and Gravel, $14.50 pickup, and $19.50 delivered. The next
Judy, I'm sorry to interrupt. I spoke to Megan earlier today, and if we can just back up for a minute, it sounded like the way she made these decisions was balancing the cost per ton, but also the distance away that the vendor was. Because if she has to send her own truck for pickup, that, you know, some of these places were Hudson or further, and the amount of hours it would take and lost time for the highway crew made it sometimes more sensible to do delivery. So I didn't understand that until I spoke to her, so.
Yes, and also, you know, taking into consideration the rising fuel costs and everything,
Right.
it's beneficial to do it that way.
Yep, thank you.
The next page starts out with tailings, wash sand, processed gravel, crushed stone, item 4, 1 inch minus screen fill. To the section with tailings, the bid award goes to Harlan Valley Sand and Gravel, $13.50 pickup, and $18 delivered goes to Red Wing of Stormville, New York. Wash sand, $16.50 pickup goes to Harlan Valley Sand and Gravel, and $15.95 delivered goes to Red Wing. Processed gravel, crushed stone, item number 4, goes to Harlan Valley Sand and Gravel pickup for $15.50, and $20.50 delivered to Harlan Valley Sand and Gravel. 1 inch minus screen fill, $10.75 pickup goes to A. Colarusso in Hudson, New York, and delivered $21.25 delivered also to A. Colarusso. The next page is New York State DOT Type 2 dry screen sand. A. Colarusso wins the bid for $22 delivered. And Peckham Materials out of Pleasant Valley wins the bid per ton for $16 pickup. Dry screen sand, $18 pickup goes to Harlem Valley Sand and Gravel, and $23 delivered goes to Harlem Valley Sand and Gravel. On the crushed quarry stone, A. Colarusso and Son wins the bid for delivery, delivered price of $24.75. Quarter-inch crushed quarry stone. And pickup $17, pickup goes to Peckham Materials. 3/8 inches crushed quarry stone, $16, pickup goes to Peckham Materials, and $24 delivered goes to Peckham Materials. On the bank run, light stone fill, medium stone fill, and heavy stone fill. Under bank run, Harlan Valley Sand and Gravel gets the award for the pickup price of $13.50, and delivery is Red Wing Properties, $16 delivered. Light stone fill, $14 pickup goes to A. Colarusso and Son, $24.50 delivered goes to A. Colarusso and Son. Medium stone fill, $16.50 goes pickup price to A. Colarusso, and delivery $31.50 delivery goes to A. Colarusso. Heavy stone fill, $16.50 pickup price goes to A. Colarusso. $31.50 delivery price goes to A. Colarusso. And these, again, as Mr. Blackman pointed out, is the bid prices suggested because of distance and fuel costs. For our calcium chloride, the bid results were we had two companies that bid, Peckham Materials and Chemung Supply Corporation out of Elmira, New York. Peckham Materials gets the liquid bid of $1.20 per gallon delivered, and Chemung gets the bid for the flakes, $6.60 per ton delivered, and that's delivered in 100-pound bags. Our bituminous mix section, for coal patch, Peckham Materials from Pleasant Valley, $118 by the ton picked up. B. Metcalf from Salisbury, Connecticut, $165 delivered. Blacktop repair by the bag goes to Package Pavement. The repair is $7.20 each, the bags, 16 pounds blacktop. And A. Colarusso wins the bid for the hot patch, hot bituminous mix. Again, distance and fuel cost is taken into consideration. On our road oil bid is for when we are oiling and stoning, and we had two bidders, Gorman Brothers from Albany, New York, and Peckham Road Corporation from Hudson Falls, New York. The next page shows how Megan figures out which one gets the bid for the oil and stone process. 334, Peckham won the bid this year, and the main reason why is because Gorman Brothers didn't bid the roller. So that threw everything off. They forgot to add the roller, and the roller is needed to complete the complete job. So Peckham Materials won, but they also won because the price of their oil, a gallon, was $3.54. So what she does is takes a typical job where 14,000 total gallons of oil was used, times $3.54, the price of the oil, to get the oil cost, which is $49,560. She takes the oil costs and adds on the spreader, and that's for an 8-hour day. The cost is $2,320, which gives you $51,880. She adds on the roller price, which is for an 8-hour day. Peckham bid for the roller price $1,968, which gives you a price of $53,848. And transport at $1,100 a day comes up with a total price of the job as $54,948. Gorman Brothers was $53,400 without the roller added, but the roller is needed to complete the job, so Peckham won the bid for the road oil bid. Any questions on that? No? Okay. The concrete bid went to R&R Concrete Services of Dover Plains, New York. They bid concrete 35 PSI, 6-bag mix, includes air entraining and water reducer, does not include hot water. Per yard, $130 cubic yards, minimum load 7 cubic yards, less than minimum $150, additional load 6 cubic yard loads, 100 additional / load for 4 to 6 cubic yard loads. On the fiber reinforcement, the concrete fiber, they bid $12.75. And you can see the other bidders were Bulldog Concrete from Poquay and 21st Century Concrete. I think they're from Waterville. The next bid is catch basins, grate frames and risers for the period of course 9/15/22 to 9/21/23. And with this bid, it was another decision of distance and fuel costs, and the bid goes to expanded supply products. Elmira, New York is about 235 miles away, so we went with expanded supply. And we've dealt with them for many years now, and the highway superintendent has been satisfied with their product. Equipment bid results for the period of 9/15/22 to 9/21/2023. We had 2 bidders, Keck Construction out of Patterson, New York, and Stan Whitehead Excavating out of Amenia, New York. Now, she's accepted all of these bids depending on the job that she has to do. For the dump truck, Keck Construction, triaxle 20 yards, $150 hourly rate with operator. Bulldozer, Stan Whitehead Excavating, Komatsu 39 dozer, 20,000 pound capacity at $175 an hour with operator. Excavator category, we have Stan Whitehead with the excavator cat 312B with thumb, 28,000 pound capacity at $175 an hourly rate with operator. Keck Construction bid an excavator, a Sani 155, 35,000 pound capacity at $225 an hourly rate with operator. Stan Whitehead also bid an excavator Kubota K by 40W Thumb, 9,800 pound capacity at $150 an hourly rate with operator. Under the excavator with hammer, we have a smaller hammer excavator at a Sani 155 excavator with hammer, $300 an hourly rate with operator from Keck Construction, which is a larger hammer than the one that Stan Whitehead bid. The excavator K by 40 Kubota hammer, 9,800 pound capacity, with a smaller hammer at $185 an hourly rate with operator. The planer was bid by Keck Construction, Catskid Steer Coal planer at $250 an hourly rate with operator. The roller, a ham roller 70-10 ton, 20,000 pound capacity, was bid by Stan Whitehead, $165 hourly rate with operator. And by Keck Construction, a Volvo roller DD90 10 ton, $200 hourly rate with operator. And a Volvo roller DD25 5 ton at $200 an hourly rate with operator. Peckham also bid in the roller category, as we can see on the oil and stone section. They bid a rubber tile roller 10 ton with operator at $246 an hour, which is for an 8-hour day is $1,968. All paving will be done off the OGS list or through shared services. Transportation charge, Keck Construction, the charge is $225 an hour. And for Stan Whitehead excavating equipment is $150 per move. Peckham Materials bid the reclaimer with operator, $5,600 for an 8-hour day, $700 an hour. Overtime is $1,000 an hour. Tree work this year we had one bidder, Lee's Tree Service, Cold Spring, New York. And on the last page, you can see at the top, at the bottom of their section, the full crew and all equipment needed for an 8-hour day. The total is $2,200 a day. So it's gone up a little bit from last year, but that's what the bid was awarded to Lee's Tree Service, of course.
Aren't they out of Wassaic? I see out of Cold Spring. Did they move, or are they?
No, they're out of Cold Spring.
That's where their main office is.
I see.
Yeah. Sweeping, we had two bidders, East Coast Industrial Services from Pine Bush, New York, and Custom Street Services from Hyde Park, New York. East Coast bid an X-Broom sweeper, 6-yard capacity with operator, $132 per hour. Transportation job, $50 at $1,106 a day. Custom Street Services, they bid an Elgin Eagle road sweeper, and that came to $1,440 a day. So East Coast wins the bid at $1,106 a day for an 8-hour day. The Vaxon sewer jet, the last thing on the list there under sweeping, won the bid from Custom Street Services for cleaning catch basins. And that's a 10-yard capacity piece of equipment with operator, $375 per hour, port to port. That means from their place to here. And that's the end of the bid
Thank you.
for the period of 9/15/22 to 9/21/2023.
I make a motion to accept the bids as read and recommended by the highway superintendent.
I'll second that. I'll second that.
Supervisor Brody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Blackman?
Yes.
Revelard?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Great job. Okay, supervisors report. Highway garage and salt shed, feasibility studies in progress. CDBG Route 44 sidewalk grant. The new RFP of 490 square feet for Phase 2 of the project has been advertised, and bids are due at the end of September. 2023 budget. The tentative budget is being put together with department recommended amounts, will be given to the town clerk and town board on or before September 30th. November election. Absentee ballot and register to vote applications are on the left side of the front door in a container next to the secure mailbox on the wall. Wassaic Trail to the Train lighting and boardwalk repair. Waiting for recommendations from the town engineer for low-level lighting and boardwalk repair process since the trail is in a wetland. American Rescue Plan funds, water district infrastructure plans, and grant opportunities for additional funds are being investigated. Town of Amenia COVID-19. Amenia Town Hall offices are open Monday through Thursday. The building department is also open on Fridays. Masks are requested and are available in an envelope on the second set of doors. Signing the visitor log is required. COVID-19 test kits are available in department offices. The Amenia Library also has COVID-19 test kits for distribution. COVID-19 vaccine information. Homebound vaccine appointments can be made by calling 845-486-2555. COVID-19 vaccines and booster shots are available at Amenia Drugs. Call for appointment 845-373-8000. CVS pharmacies, go online to schedule an appointment. Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J vaccines are available at the JCPenney site at the Poughkeepsie Galleria. Visit www.duchessny.gov/COVID vaccine for expanded clinic dates and times and to make an appointment. COVID-19 testing is also available at this site.
Victoria, I had a couple of questions on that.
What?
The first one, the highway garage project, where specifically are they? Have they started on their developing the program for the new highway garage, or
The feasibility study.
the feasibility study? But have they started actually meeting and measuring and all that stuff, or?
They've just started the process.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what they're doing right now.
Okay. The trail lighting, it seemed like the actual lighting of the trail seemed less popular when it was discussed previously. Do we know if it's possible to use the money that we would have gotten for the lighting for the repairs?
We didn't get money for lighting.
I had been considering with Dee Dee Barrett's office grants to offset the cost of lighting, which we had thought at the time was required from our previous grant funding. But since we heard from residents that they were less than enthusiastic about any kind of lighting there, certainly Dee Dee Barrett's office and the town, as far as I know, other than your recommendations for those footlights that would have been very not affected residents at all. I don't know where we're at, but Dee Dee's office is she's only our representative through November. So if we haven't heard from the engineer as to whether or not those low-level lights would even be appropriate, right? He was looking into that?
Yes, he is.
So the time is running out.
And the
for Dee Dee's
repairs, Victoria, is that written out? I mean, is there something that could be used for a number for that if we were trying to get money from the state government?
Well, I don't know. We would have to get estimates for the repairs, but,
Okay. Well, I meant.
but you just
were they written out?
can't do repairs in a wetland. So we have to work with DEC. That's why I gave it to the engineer.
Okay. Okay. It just seems a shame to like have that money that was, sounded like it was promised to just lose it because of the timing, but.
So we were promised to help, they were going to help us submit it, but,
It was
Wasn't
iffy.
guaranteed. Yeah.
it's not terribly iffy. It's money that's set aside, but the project, but anyway,
Okay.
it's very, very tight on the timeline now.
And the last thing, Victoria, was just the American Rescue Fund monies, are those folded into the budget? I mean, are those,
No,
so
you can't use them as revenue.
they're,
They're in a savings account. So that means they would be in the fund balance.
okay. So to spend them on the.
We would have to transfer them.
No, but I mean in terms of, does that require the board to approve the use of those for something to get it out of the fund balance? I just don't know how that works.
Yes, if whatever, if we decide we want to spend it, what we want to spend it on,
Okay,
then we would have to do a resolution, because we would have to transfer it from the general fund,
Okay.
which is now, but it's in a savings account.
great. Okay, I just didn't know
But
how
they
that
made it
worked.
very clear that we could not use it in our budget and count it as revenue.
Okay.
Can you similarly expand upon your statement that the Water District infrastructure plans and grant opportunities for additional funds are being investigated? What does that actually mean?
It means we're trying to see if there are funds to pay for land if we need to buy land.
Uh-huh.
We already went through all this. Land if we needed to get land for new wells.
So
Or
just
a
in
new
real
water
general-
tower
so
for
just a
everything.
real general.
Yes, from the engineering report that Marco did.
Okay, so from A to Z, we're
Yes.
just looking for funding opportunities. I thought you'd maybe honed in on a specific.
No, the only
project.
grant Marco and I actually applied for was a grant that, to help offset the cost of the lead and copper inventory.
Okay.
That the Department of Health is requiring. He actually put a report together, so I applied for those funds,
Okay.
because that's going to be an expenditure for the town that we weren't expecting. Are there any other questions? No? Okay. Town clerk report?
All right, I'll try to move us along real quick. The local share, for the month of August in the town clerk's office, our state, county, and local revenues were $600, with our local share being remitted to the supervisor in the amount of $579. I received by mail, certified mail, a notice from our ZBA department informing us that there's an appeal on a building permit denial and a request for interpretation related to a property located at 78 Sinpatch Road. So there is a legal notice that we received. If anybody wants to look into it further, that public hearing is going to be here at the town hall this upcoming September 19th. It's Monday at 6 o'clock. I'm in receipt of a resignation as of this date. I'm in receipt of Chris Milano's resignation from the Recreation Commission. So I'm looking for the board to go ahead and accept that.
I'll make a motion that we accept with regret Chris Milano's volunteer status as a Recreation Commission member.
I'll second that.
Supervisor Purdy?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Yes.
Blackman? Revelard?
Yes.
I'm also presenting this evening the vouchers for payment, authorizing the supervisor to pay claims. This evening's total is $204,319.34, and for our breakdown is reported as follows. Our general fund A, $71,053.30. Highway fund, $116,642.64. Amenia Lighting, $901.58. Wasaik Lighting, $342.27. Amenia Water, $15,379.55. Again, seeking authorization for the supervisor to pay claims in the total amount of $204,319.34.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the expenditures as noted.
I'll second that.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Soteris?
Yes.
Blackman?
Yes.
Fablelard?
Yes.
Also in our packets this evening, you're going to find our water report for the month of August. This is submitted by SCBI Environmental Services. It does indicate the total gallons for usage. He indicates the total number of customer calls, water line markout digouts for Safe New York, emergency response repairs, and any other items that he completed. You'll also find in our packets dated September 7th for the monthly report. For August, in our highway department, total income for August is $17,274. So that's been respectfully submitted. I do believe also in our packet, because I do acknowledge receipt of and circulation of our operating statement, our balance sheets that were submitted from our bookkeeper. And I do share, I know that we have recreation here, but Kelly did submit in a report, so I don't know if you're reading it. So I don't need to read this?
I'm just going to...
Very good.
He's going to cover it.
Very good. Okay, so then that'll conclude the town clerk's report.
Dawn, just a question. On SEBI's report, it lists the total gallons, and then underneath that, there's a number that is maybe a percentage, but it isn't identified. Do you know what those numbers are?
I do know that you guys had this conversation 3 or 4 meetings ago. and
No.
Yes. So I don't know what the
Nobody knows
follow-up
what it is,
from Marco is, and Marco's
can-
not here this
but
evening.
it
I
does
gotta
look
call.
like a percentage,
I'll
doesn't
call
it?
Marco. Thank you.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Recreation Commission?
Good evening, everybody. Paul Witters, Recreation Commission Chairman. Hope everybody had a great August and enjoyed their vacation. As Dawn was speaking to with Kelly's report, unfortunately, we didn't have a successful meeting in August because multiple members had vacation, birthday parties and such, so unfortunately, we did not have a successful meeting back in August. But what we have done in the past month is we have pursued the landscape architects, and we believe that we will have at least 2 bids available to the town board by October the 6th. We added a extra architect to the list because a couple of the architects weren't responding very well. So at this time, we're going, in October, we'll be presenting a bid from Dodona Architects and from Labella Architects, who came recommended to us from Millerton. Also in August, we were able to submit our budget for 2023. So I guess our main question to you would be, is there any questions about some of the items that we had presented, because there's multiple new items?
We'll be actually scheduling a meeting with the Recreation Commission and the town board separately
Okay.
to go over your budget.
Okay, thank you. Our next question would be, has any progress been made on the bylaws for the Recreation Commission in the past couple months?
I've obtained copies of drafts from various towns, and I'm hoping to have something for the board to review and in October.
Okay, so yeah, just share it with me by
Absolutely.
email, and I'll share it with the rest of the commission, and we would like an opportunity to, comment back to it before there's a final draft presented to the board to vote on. So our final thing, or my final item tonight is, I know that we're getting ready in October to create our 2023 budget. There's been conversation for the past 3-4 months publicly and amongst the commission about hiring a full-time recreation director going forward. It's my feeling that us volunteers and the part-time director that we have, it's just stretched us thin, right? We have not been able to successfully have a good recreation the past couple of years. And our thoughts are that it's time for the town to kind of step up. You know, if you look at Millerton, if you look at Dover Plains, or you look at Millbrook, those communities have a full-time rec director. We're the only community within the area that does not. And we believe the residents would be served much better if we had a full-time rec director that the commission had to work with. So I guess our question to the community, or to the board, is what is your feelings with that idea? Is that something that you guys can comment to now, or do we need to wait for more information, or do you need more information from us?
I believe you also mentioned that the person who would be the recreation director would also be the summer
Yes, they would.
camp director. So they would take on that role as well?
Yes, ma'am. Our idea, so if we look at Dover, they have their full-time rec director, and she runs and puts new programs together, but she also runs the summer camp program for them during the summer. And then if there was more, we would want to pick a job title that does not say directly recreation director, right? Because that limits somebody. There's other job titles that we could actually open a position up so that they could serve the town in other ways if there was downtime. Like in the wintertime, there's not so much for the recreation director to do, right? I mean, we're trying to come up with some small programs, but possibly they could serve the town in different ways rather than just as a rec director if we created the position in that way. We think that, you know, yeah, right now we're running about $100,000 a year for our recreation department. If we added this in, we're looking at probably another $30,000 to $40,000 yearly being added to the rec budget. It's a little bit of an increase. It's not quite 50%, but I think it's something the town could afford to do. And I just believe that it's something that the town needs to do, because realistically, we're losing young families to other communities because they don't see the recreation opportunities available in this town. You go to Millerton, they're building a brand new pool. You go to Pleasant Valley, they have all kinds of things to do. And these young families are leaving our community and going to these other towns. And I don't know, that's not something I don't think that we want to see happen. So that's why we believe that the rec director would go a long way towards helping us resolve that issue. That was our feelings to it. So we're just looking for some kind of feedback from the town board as to what they feel, if that's a good idea, if we need to try to pursue a different avenue.
Well, when we meat with you, you know, we can discuss it at that time.
Okay.
This would be
You know,
part of the
actually
budget
get
talks, yeah.
actually give
Excellent.
the,
Thank you. One more thing is, one of the things that we had submitted in our budget is what we were calling the Weebatuck Student Leadership Challenge. And the idea behind that is to give the students at Weebatuck some money to work on creating some recreation opportunities for the community. Now, considering that Weebatuck has students coming from Millerton and Amenia, I reached out to the mayor in Millerton, Jen Nijak, and asked her if she would be willing, or her community would be willing, to share the cost with Amenia, since we would be presenting this to the students at Weebatuck. And she reported back to me that the Millerton would be interested in sharing that cost. $2,500 from Amenia, $2,500 from Millerton, and just give the kids a chance to tell us what they would think would serve the community, their community, for recreation. It's something that I hope the board really
well,
takes time to consider.
we would need more information about that, like how it was going to work, and which you can bring to us when we meet with you.
Well, the idea is to try to give them an open-ended, you know, opportunity, right? Set some small parameters for them. Mm-hmm. Let them come back and tell us what they want to see in our community, right? Because we're always, as adults, we're always deciding what's best for our kids. Sometimes these young teenagers, you know, 15, 16, 17, they have ideas that we could never think of.
But I believe you had a dollar amount to that, so I need to know.
So I do have a dollar amount, $2,500 from Amenia, $2,500
I know, but
from Millerton.
what would you be spending that money on? You need to bring.
Whatever I did, if they
You
can.
need to bring that detail to the meeting when you
Well,
come.
if we have some kind of idea that, yes, if the town board would agree to that, I have been working with the new school principal. He's ready to pull the trigger to start getting the kids together to give us some ideas as soon as I understand.
Well, it's not, yeah, well, not this year. This is for next year.
For 2023.
Okay.
So as soon as the board tells me that, yes, they're interested in the idea, I will approach the school and we'll get you some ideas.
Okay.
That'd be great. Paul, thank you
Thank you.
for driving this, and we'll have more detailed discussions during budget time, but, I think the idea to have somebody tasked with oversight of the rec program year-round is a great one. It'd be great to fit it into the budget.
Committee reports?
Can we read Kelly's report that brings kind of up to date what's being added to the
Well,
recreation program?
you want to go ahead?
Right, I just got that email today.
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead and read it?
Yeah. So this is from Kelly Milano, our rec supervisor, I believe is her title. Good morning. We were unable to have an official meeting last month. Cheer has officially started last week and will be in the gym every Sunday from now until March or April. I guess it all depends on when the competitions are. Pickleball is looking to add Sunday evenings to their schedule. Does anybody know when they are currently meeting?
Currently on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays?
Yes,
At what
they're
time?
looking to add 6 o'clock.
Tuesdays at 6 o'clock is pickleball, and they'll add Sunday evenings to their schedule. They are figuring out a few logistics, but they will contact me once they have figured everything out. John Lamb would like to use the gym on Monday evenings for his yearly baseball clinic for 4 weeks after Thanksgiving. Also, he would like to do his clinic on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings, starting in mid to late January until the weather is good enough or dry enough to get outside. There are talks about a dance program, and they are finalizing details and hope to have those soon. So we are closing in on a free theater arts program for students in the area that are in 4th grade through high school. Or was it 3rd grade? 3rd grade through high school.
You said third.
And we will be getting a flyer out hopefully this weekend, and the start date is October 8th. The deadline for registration will be October 1. On the back of the flyer will be all of the 10 Saturday workshops that will be led by Heather Holohan, who is a very seasoned theater arts instructor, and she has been doing this for probably the last 5-6 years. It'll be on Saturdays, like I said, starting October 8th in the auditorium, and it will be from noon until 2 p.m. with the exception of one or two Saturdays where we need to add a full rehearsal on a Friday night and a potential Sunday snow date in December. So there's a final performance that it'll be free to the community to attend, and like I said, the whole program is free, and it culminates in a final performance which will be held on December 17th, I believe. So stay tuned for more information. If you have any questions, you can contact me at 845-489-7826. Thanks.
Are there any other committee reports?
Just that Housing is going to have the second of their community forums on October 15th, which is a Saturday, and they had a meeting, when was it? Was it this? It was this Monday. This Monday, a lunch for business owners to explain, I'm sorry, that was a different committee.
wastewater.
That was wastewater. Wastewater had a presentation to business owners on Monday at lunch, and the Housing Board is preparing their next public event, which will be presented with Hudson River Housing.
Vicki and I actually attended the wastewater meeting on Tuesday forum, and Chris did a tremendous job of presenting it. It was well attended.
Charlie.
Charlie Miller.
Oh,
and
Charlie.
it was well attended, and a lot of questions were asked. I thought he did a tremendous job on it. So he actually just texted me and told me to say that. So
That he did a good job?
And we always do what Charlie says.
How many turned out? Was it a good turnout?
there was I don't know. I have to say there was at least 20, maybe 25 people. Yeah, but mostly business owners in town. Yeah.
That's good.
Great. Very good.
Are there any other committee reports?
I'm out, but I'm going to volunteer to read the resolutions if you want.
We'll just say the
Resol- Go
CAC
ahead.
does meet on the third Wednesdays at 7 o'clock here at Town Hall. Thank you.
65. Whoever's reading. I mean, somebody volunteered. I don't know if he remembers. It starts now.
No, you want me to go? I didn't get, nobody took me up on my offer.
No, go ahead.
All right. So, resolution number 65 of 2022. Resolution of the Town Board of the Town of Amenia introducing draft amendments to the Town Comprehensive Plan. Whereas the authority and responsibility to undertake comprehensive planning and to regulate land use for the purpose of protecting the public health, safety, and general welfare of its citizens is among the most important powers and duties granted by the legislature to a town government. And whereas it is in the best interest of the people of the town of Amenia for the town board to periodically review and update its comprehensive plan with specific goals developed with the participation of its citizens to create an optimum comprehensive plan. And whereas Town Law Section 272-A sets forth general parameters for the content of the comprehensive plan and the procedure for amending, and whereas amending a comprehensive plan is a Type 1 action pursuant to Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law and Part 617 of the New York State Code of Rules and Regulations, commonly known as SECRA, which requires that a full environmental assessment be completed prior to adoption. And whereas the town board has completed part 1 of the environmental asset form and has determined that the proposed action is an action for which there are no other involved agencies and that the town board is therefore by default the lead agency for this action. And whereas the town board wishes to introduce the draft amendments to the town of Amenia comprehensive plan for public comment and review to ascertain the future needs of the town so that the appropriate land use regulations may be adopted and implemented. And whereas the town board hereby introduces the draft amendments to the town of Amenia comprehensive plan in the form annexed Tier 2, and whereas a copy of the aforesaid proposed amendments to the Town of Amenia Comprehensive Plan have been provided to each member of the board, and whereas the Town Board should hold a public hearing on said proposed amendments to the Town of Amenia Comprehensive Plan on October 6, 2022 at 7 p.m. at Amenia Town Hall, 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York. Now, therefore, be it resolved that 1. The recitations set forth are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. 2, that the town board hereby authorizes and directs the town clerk to act as follows with respect to the proposed amendments in the town comprehensive plan. A, to post and to publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the town of Amenia of said public hearing at least 10 days prior thereto. B, to serve a copy of this resolution, part 1 of the environmental asset form and the next proposed amendments to the town of Amenia comprehensive plan and the public hearing notice to the municipal clerk of each abutting municipality not less than 10 days prior to said public hearings. C, to refer a copy of the draft amendments to the Town of Amenia Comprehensive Plan, Part 1 of the Environmental Asset Form. This resolution and the public hearing notice to the Planning Board of the Town of Amenia for its advisory review and comment pursuant to Town Code Section 121-69. And to provide a copy of this resolution, Part 1 of the Environmental Asset Form, the draft amendments to the Town of Amenia Comprehensive Plan, and the public hearing notice to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development for their advisory review and comment in accordance with General Municipal Law, Section 239-N. Make that motion.
Second.
I have a question.
Discussion.
Discussion, thank you. Since this just arrived this afternoon and it's pretty dense, I assume that you can vote to have the public hearing before we've all gone through this in detail?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This public hearing is just,
I cleared the room.
so for the comp plan, there's going to be 2 public hearings. The first public hearing is just to get input from the public with regards to what we have here. So once we close that public hearing, all public comment that are received, there'll be input, amendment, and then they'll reissue a final draft for adoption, at which time there'll be a subsequent public hearing.
Okay, and how do people see this? Is this going to be on the website?
Posted on the website.
Okay, great.
And available in the clerk's office.
So just to be clear, we're not voting to endorse the draft, we're not voting to approve it, we're just voting to...
We're just setting the
up
public
that
hearing.
meeting. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, this first public hearing is to gain public input, and this is the first opportunity.
It's the first step.
Great.
Resolution number 66 of 2022.
Supervisor Perotti?
Oh my goodness, we had roll. My apologies.
It's okay, I was being a mom in the hall
Yes.
just now.
Did we get a second?
Yes, that was Supervisor Perotti who seconded it.
Okay.
He made the motion, she seconded it. Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Blackman?
Yes.
Fablelard?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, resolution number 66 of 2022, authorizing disposal of air conditioning units as surplus equipment. Whereas the town of Amenia is in possession of a number of old air conditioning units which have reached the end of their life and are no longer working properly, and whereas the following air conditioning units have reached the end of their life. Kenmore, model number 253.70151014, serial number KK30384007. Make Kenmore 253.70151014, serial number KK24982861. Unit Town Board Meeting Room Number 1, Kenmore, model 253.70151014, serial number labeled damaged. Make Kenmore, model 253.70151014, serial number KK24997510, and unit Boardroom Sears Roebuck, model 25375088301, serial number JK32625118. Whereas the town supervisor would like to declare these old, non-working air conditioning units as surplus equipment and dispose of them in a proper and safe manner, now therefore be it resolved as follows: the recitations set forth above are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. That the town board of the town of Amenia hereby declares the aforementioned air conditioning units to be surplus equipment and authorizes the disposal of said air conditioning units in a proper and safe manner. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Sure.
Moved and second?
She did, but that's,
Okay.
we're gonna give it to you because it's so nice to hear
Oh,
you.
yeah, we'll have to squeeze one in on it.
Every now and then. Supervisor Perotti? Yes. Say yes.
Yes.
Or nay. Councilpersons, I know, you just like threw, she seconded it.
I didn't even hear what you said. so.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Yes.
Blackman? You're usually so quick on that.
I know, I
And
know.
then Fablelard, because
I was trying
that was
not to step
entertaining,
on you,
because it was so,
yeah.
it's so much fun.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just a lot of calories expended on some old air conditioners.
All right.
And there were 5, it looked like? Air conditioners, I mean, just
They're
just
non-working.
generally, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep,
Okay.
5.
I was looking over your shoulder accurately then.
The other ancient.
Resolution number 67 of 2022, authorizing disposal of surplus computer equipment. Spring cleaning at the beginning of fall here in the town of Amenia. Whereas the town of Amenia has 2 laptop computers which have reached the end of life and are no longer useful for town purposes, and whereas the following laptop computers are now old, outdated, obsolete, or no longer needed. 1. Dell laptop, model number Latitude E5550, service tag number 7W82762, purchase date November 2015. 2nd unit, Dell laptop, model number Latitude E5530, service tag number HF5KWW1, purchase date February 2013. And whereas the town board of the town of Amenia seeks to have all of the above computer equipment disposed of in an environmentally and fiscally responsible manner that ensures the safeguarding of any sensitive data and licensed software. And whereas Edmunds GovTech Inc. is an IT support specialist with the necessary qualifications to dispose of the above computer equipment properly in an environmentally safe manner and to safeguard any sensitive data and licensed software from unauthorized use. Now, therefore, be it resolved as follows: the recitations set forth are incorporated in this resolution as fully set forth and adopted herein. 2, that the town board of the town of Amenia hereby declares the aforementioned laptop computers to be surplus equipment and authorizes Edmunds GovTech Inc. to dispose of the laptop computers described herein to be disposed of in an environmentally and fiscally safe manner and ensures the safeguarding of any sensitive data and licensed software from unauthorized use. Number 3, that Edmunds GovTech Inc. will provide a certificate of completion to the town supervisor once the laptops are disposed of as set forth herein. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle? Yes. Gutierrez?
Yes.
Blackman?
Yes.
Revelard?
Yes.
Okay, last one. Resolution number 68 of 2022. Transfer of funds for September 2022. Whereas the town board has the authority to transfer funds when necessary or unanticipated to amend the budget, and whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 13554.01.044 assessors CE certiorari by $588 and decreasing expense line 13554.01.048 assessor CE conferences by $588 for unanticipated legal costs. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing revenue line 3005.01 state aid mortgage tax by $5,100 and increasing expense line 14204.01 attorney CE by $5,100 for unanticipated legal costs. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing revenue line 2260.01 public safety services other by $337.19 and increasing expense line 30204.01 public safety ComServe by $337.19 for DC Sheriff Services Congregation Beth David payment. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 71104.01 Amenia Park CE by $200 and decreasing expense line 73104.01.121 Youth Program Senior League by $200 for building items. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 71104.01.089 Amenia Park CE ballpark lights by $3,337.69 and decreasing expense line 71451.01 summer rec program by $3,337.69 for unanticipated costs. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 67724.01.088 programs for the aging picnic by $535.80 and decreasing expense line 71401.01.091 Amenia Park Easter egg hunt by $535.80 for unanticipated increased cost. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 198.9.01 other economic assistance by 141.98 by $141.98 and increasing expense line 80204.01.158 planning Hudson River housing by $141.98 for affordable housing event expenses. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 36204.01.074 safety inspection CE supplies by $115 and decreasing expense line 36204.01.040 safety inspection account support by $115 for unanticipated expense. Whereas budget amendment in the water fund increasing expense line 83204.06 source power pump CE by $8,042.70 and decreasing expense line 83202.06 source power pump EQ by $8,042.70 for unanticipated expenses. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board authorizes the transfer of necessary budget lines to process the transactions. Is there a motion?
I make that motion.
And I'll second, because I have a question, as usual. Ian, in the third, fourth, sixth, seventh, and eighth lines, both of them say they're increasing revenue, and I'm assuming that the second one and all the others is decreasing. Just check to make sure.
No, they
that's...
both need to be increasing. You increase the revenue line and you increase the expense line.
Yeah,
Oh.
she does this resolution, not him.
Oh, not Ian.
I do not prepare
Sorry.
the transfer of
Just-
funds resolutions.
Okay, I'm sorry, Victoria. So you increase the revenue line and you increase the expense line, but some of these seem to be increasing
And
one
in some of the
decreasing.
other ones, you're you're only dealing with expense lines for increasing and decreasing expense lines.
Okay.
But when you're working with the revenue line, you're increasing it.
Okay, I see. Revenue line is different than it.
Yeah, it's different than the expense.
Got it, thank you.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Blackman?
Yes.
Bevelard?
Yes.
Okay, is there any town board comments?
Just one thing. What is the next step with the charcoal kilns? What is to happen next with the charcoal kilns? Ian, I'm
So
sorry.
with the charcoal
I was too far
kilns,
back.
Bernie Layton is continuing to complete his work there, and once he has it
On behalf of the owner?
he's doing it on behalf of the owner, correct, at the owner's expense, and once they have it to where he feels comfortable with the layout, the project, the preparation, the cleaning, restoration, all of that, at that point in time, then we will work on having that ready-served operation transferred to the town. And so they're completing their renovation to it.
Are there things that the board needs to discuss about, security or maintenance or any of those things before accepting it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, all of that should be discussed. The board will have to determine what and how that's going to look if they take the property over. Everything from parking, monitoring, maintenance, safety, all of it.
So there's potentially a long list. Okay, just curious about that.
No, the cards are not on the table yet.
What?
The cards are not on the table yet.
Okay, good to know.
I just want to make an announcement about the rail trail closure. The dates, they're paving the rail trail, the county is,
Right.
from 343 to
16th.
Mechanic.
Yeah, the 16th to the 19th.
16th to the 19th. So from Mechanic Street to 343, that section's closed 16th through the 19th.
And the county is doing it, Dutchess County.
All right.
And thank you, Damien. It just made me think of something that's been on my mind for a while, and that is how unsafe these crossings are on the rail trail. Thankfully, they didn't have to call 911 on me when my heart stopped when somebody just zips across without stopping.
Well, the county has put signs there. It
It's-
tells them to dismount.
It's a problem.
I know, but
And
they've done every safety thing they can possibly
If
do.
anything that I do tonight, or say tonight, is to warn people to be extra careful at these crossings, because there are people who don't think that they have to follow the same rules as the people do with cars on bicycles, even though the law says so. But at the end of the day, if a driver hits one of these people on a bicycle, the driver is going to be at fault, the way I understand the law. Ian could probably even say something about that if he was interested. But it's a real problem. It's an ongoing problem. I'm passionate about it. I'm scared about it, actually. So-
But the county has taken all the steps they can. They have
Right.
signs that say dismount. I mean, they have done everything they can on their end. But some people just don't want to follow the rules,
Yeah.
and they go flying by, and people hit them, and there you go.
Yeah,
It's difficult.
well, it's out there.
Please be safe on our rail trails, and follow the signage, and be safe so you don't get injured. Because no one wants to hit a bicyclist and hurt them, and hurt anybody.
I would like to discuss for a moment the climate change mitigation easement template that we received from the DEC grant technical assistance person. I know Ian had some questions about it, and it looks like we would need, she confirmed the fact that we would need this climate change mitigation easement to move forward with that grant application, which is due September 30th. And so I am
For the charging
concerned-
stations?
Yeah, for the EV charging stations. So
Okay.
this is one of many documents that will need to be signed. It seems like a straightforward project because we own the property where we propose to put the EV charging stations. The electrician has said that the proposed placement at the rail trail parking lot trailhead on Mechanic Street is ideal. It will be very simple to connect it to the electricity. Very straightforward. All of the grant funds would cover the entire cost of the installation up to $250,000 because Amenia has been designated in the draft disadvantaged communities map as a disadvantaged community, which is to our benefit because now we have zero match required. So the good news is it won't cost us anything to install it, and the good news also is that the county Department of Public Works, Robert Balkine, the head of that department from the county, has agreed to install any necessary signage on land that they lease from the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, Historic Preservation. I believe it's that full group that operate the rail trail and own the parcel where we would park the cars. So it's an existing parking lot. Robert Balkine leases that from New York State for the purposes of providing parking for the rail trail, and we snowplow it, so we're already snowplowing it, so that's no problem. And the county is willing to write a letter stating that they will provide 2 designated parking spaces for the town's EV charging stations. What is left to be done is to get New York State and to have them, find out who it is on their behalf who would sign the necessary paperwork for this grant to be due. And one thing that I don't know as well is how we're going to tell them that we're going to enforce the designated parking spaces just for EV parking vehicles. So in other words, somebody parks their car that isn't using the charging station, or two cars parked there. How do we say, I'm sorry, you can't be there because those are only for EV charging stations while your car is being charged? So I guess my real question is are the constables able to issue parking tickets? Is there some way that I can assure the grant funders that we can in fact make these 2 spaces dedicated? Or is that somebody we would just call the sheriff's department?
Is that a requirement that they be dedicated?
You have to explain how you are going to, well, I think so, because if they're going to spend $250,000 up to.
Yeah, the county said they would do the
But
signage.
is it actually part of the grant to know that?
Well,
now?
you have to explain how you're going to make sure that public amenity is available to the public who is driving an electric vehicle and needs access to it. You can't access it if somebody else is parking there.
I mean, there's only 6 spots in the rail trail parking lot. Right?
There are far more spots than
They're on
that.
both sides,
Goodness.
Damien. They're up and down, I'm
Up
pretty
and,
sure.
oh, okay. Both
There are
sides. when
plenty
you
of
go in.
parking
The other
spaces.
parking, the cars just park there currently, overnight. That's probably.
Really? Wow.
There's overnight.
That does raise the point. I don't think they're striped now, are they?
No, they're not striped.
So-
They would need to be striped.
Right, I mean, the rest of it should be too, just so that that's.
So I would have to get that also from Robert Balkine, that he would stripe it, but I don't know for sure. He offered to do the signs. He's going to take photos of the existing parking spaces that he takes care of on similar parking rail trail in the county, so that I think it would, whatever he's done in other places will probably work fine here.
What's the litigation easement you referred to?
It's a mitigation,
Oh, mitigation. Okay, not
mitigation
litigation.
easement, and it's just a formality. It's
Who has to
much-
do the easement?
So this would be between New York State, who owns the property, and the town of Amenia. And all it is simply, we have to, this particular easement would entitle municipalities like us to install projects. We're not installing a project, we're just, delineating some parking spaces that already exist. But anyway, install projects on property they do not own, so long as they can obtain a climate change mitigation easement from the owners, that's New York State, to ensure the project will meet intended public interest. Okay, so
So Bob Balkine is already working with New York State?
he's got an easement from New York State, but the actual owner is New York State. And according to, I didn't think we even needed this because we're working with Robert Balkine. Balkine's going to offer a letter, but this is just one of many extremely complicated documents that you need to fill out and get signed and notarized and submitted by September 30th. So I am respectively requesting that we may have to have a special meeting, and 2 Thursdays from now would be September 29th. If I can possibly get New York State to provide the kind of paperwork I need and get it notarized, it is possible perhaps that we can meet this deadline. Otherwise, if they don't exhaust all of their funds in this first round of funding, they will be offering subsequent funds. So I don't feel like there's a complete waste of energy if we continue pursuing this grant and don't make that September 30th deadline, which is highly likely, but I still would like to try.
Is that the only piece that you were concerned about?
No, there's other very complicated, like I said, how are we going to ensure the grant funders, there's a million questions about how we're going to ensure that this is available for 10 years to electric vehicle car owners. And it's simply complicated. They have made it unnecessarily complicated. There are like 200 questions. I'm on like question number 25. So for a simple project, they have made it wildly
Vicki,
crazy.
would it be easier if it was like land that the town straight out owned without?
I don't think we want to build parking lots that we need. It's unlevel land there. The drainage is an issue.
Yeah, and the county's on board.
The county's willing to do it. New York State will likely be willing to do this because this meets all of their goals. They want to be, carbon free in 2050. We're all on the same page. We just have to get through miles of paperwork and jump through a million hoops. But they're on board. I am convinced everybody wants this project. It makes perfect sense. Who wouldn't want this project? Mm-hmm. We all want to reduce our impact, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a wonderful way of using that land that we've owned for a long time and, haven't had
Done
any
anything
use
with.
for before.
Right. It's perfectly appropriate.
Wait, do we own it or does New York State own it?
We own it.
We own where the pumps will go, or the charging stations will physically be installed.
but the
Town of
parking
Amenia.
The
Our
rest
side
is
of the border.
existing. The rest is perfectly there,
The parking
ready to roll.
spaces are the county's,
State owned.
But the state owns the land and the
State-owned.
county maintains it.
but it's, all the installation and everything will be
I
on
get it
our
now.
property.
I didn't get that nuance. I was like, do we town own it or, I get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we own that property. There's like 6/10 of an acre up there.
Yeah, sounds good.
So what I've just described is what would go into what's called the project description, the most, so there's a template. All I have to do is follow the template, but then I have to drop in what I've just described to you into there, and then get, like I said, the hardest part will be getting who is it from the New York State who's willing to sign for this? How many meetings do they have to go to before they sign it? It should be simple.
Well, who is Bob Belkine's contact?
That's my question. I haven't heard back. And I'm sure other towns have done this. Millerton has done it, so they had this, they didn't do it on a rail trail. I just don't know. I don't know enough about it. I'm working on weekends on this, and I will do, with Stacy and I, will do the best we can with the deadline. But I would ask the
Do I
town
have a
board-
copy of that?
Yes, it was emailed to
Yeah, okay.
you. You said Ian has more questions about this, or we need to discuss how that.
My only question for the board is if they want me involved with this particular project, because
It's
to
gonna
this
cost.
point,
Yeah.
I haven't been involved enough to properly advise the board. I've heard some things tonight, but this is the first time I've heard things. I haven't had an opportunity to look at it. So if the board wants me to be a part of this and work on this project, I will do it. If not, then I won't touch it.
Well, again, I just think as we're budgeting, we have to figure out how to work in a grant writer. I mean, more time for a grant writer, because you shouldn't be spending your weekends doing this, Vicki. And there's a lot of money sloshing around. I keep getting stuff emailed to me about grants that we could use for projects we've been talking about in town, but it's a lot of work to put the package together. So I just think we need more
We need
help.
somebody that's available during daytime hours so they can get real technical information from the people who are available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Right.
That's what I can't do. I'm stuck 1 week to the next week trying to get answers.
I actually
to
have a
those
meeting with a
questions.
group who has recognized Amenia as being in a certain category. And once I meet with them, I think they will be able to help you with that and any other grants we have.
Who's this?
It's called Uncharted. I don't know that much about it yet.
Okay.
I have a meeting with them tomorrow.
This is for grant writing.
What?
And this will be for grant writing?
No, this is a group that will do grants for us.
Oh, I see.
Because we have apparently in the Infrastructure and Inflation Reduction Act, there is something in there that is a special designation for small towns like us to put us ahead of other people in line to get grants. And I'm going to be getting more detail on that tomorrow.
Great.
So I figure it wouldn't hurt to ask the questions and see if we can get some help.
Good.
Is the rest of the board interested in moving forward with this, with Ian's help to produce the resolutions that we need? And if so, are you interested in convening a special meeting on 2 weeks from now, on Thursday, the 29th, by my math? That would be.
Vicki, I'm sorry, what are the resolutions that are needed?
Well, this is
Or did
one.
you just
Climate
leave that
change
one, right?
mitigation easement would have to be signed, if indeed I can get it to signed also by the New York State by then.
Well, I could certainly be here on the 29th, but
Yeah, I'll be back by then.
I will be away.
good for you.
Okay,
Will most of us be here?
sounds like 4.
Sounds like 3. I mean,
All I need is 3,
Yeah.
really, if everybody's on board with moving this forward. It's just technical
Okay, what time do you want to do it?
stuff. I would say 7 o'clock, Thursday, 7 o'clock is just an extra town board meeting. Unless somebody prefers something else.
Actually, that would be good for me too, because I can
Get some stuff done.
give you the tentative budget.
That's what I'm thinking.
can we compress the
We could do a budget meeting as well. We could do,
first meeting in October? Can we cram it into this 29th meeting?
What?
I wouldn't do that. I would do a budget meeting with the rec commission, right? And get that knocked off.
No, well, this is just giving you the tentative. I haven't,
Oh, I see.
the tentative has to be given to the town clerk by September 30th.
Right.
Okay.
And then it has to be given to the town board by October 5th, and our meeting isn't till the 6th, so that would work. I could, give it to you at that meeting, the tentative.
Should we
But I'm
just go
still
ahead and
collecting
set it?
information. What?
Should we just go ahead and set this as a special meeting, or do we?
Sure, we
Okay,
can
I'll
do
make a
that.
motion that we have a special meeting on September 29th at 7 PM.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I'll advertise, make sure it's advertised before I leave.
Supervisor Brody?
Yes.
Councilperson Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Blackman?
Yes.
Garblard?
I won't be here, so what
Doesn't
if I
matter, you're voting
abstain?
on whether or not them having a meeting.
Let's go for it, yes.
Well,
Make
you
them
can,
meet.
you can vote to have a meeting. You just won't have a vote
yeah.
when we have the meeting.
All right.
Okay, is there any
we-
other town board comments?
If you can get me the information as soon as possible on that, so I
I
can
think
start
I did.
following up.
On the easement.
Anything, or who
Yeah.
you had contact with?
I'll do
or-
the best I
Yeah.
can, Ian, but I work on this on Saturdays because I have a
I
full-time
understand.
job.
I'll get it to
I
him, I have it
understand,
all.
Okay.
I already,
Just 'cause
I already
I want to
sent
get a
you,
jump start on it.
I'll do
want
the
to
best
be
I
able to-
can.
I get it.
I already sent you the easement template.
I've seen the template.
Yeah, I'll send you the rest of everything.
Okay, perfect.
I'll take care of that. No, you don't have to do that, I'll do that.
Thank you.
I'll add it to my list of things to do. Okay, if there are no more town board comments, make a motion to go into executive session for Kent Hollow pending litigation with the town attorney, Attorney George Lithgow, Councilman Rebellard, Councilman Gutierrez, and Councilman Blackman and Doyle are excused, as well as the town clerk. And also our town attorney, Ian Lindars.
Okay, thanks all, till the 29th.
Thanks for your service, everybody. Bye, have a good night.
Good evening.
Did somebody second? We need to second and vote.
Anyone?
Can you guys vote?
Anyone? Somebody has to. Thank you. They have no idea.
I'll be right
Yes, yes, and yes.
You just need, we just need to
Hello?
vote. Yes.
Just somebody say yeses because he's still recording.
Well,
Did we say yes?
No. Do you know what you're saying yes to?
No.
that we go in, go ahead.
Thank you.
That we need to go into executive
Yes, no.
session.
And
Yes.
everybody understands, so it's 8:28.